So there we have it. We are going to be getting a first-time IPL champions. That after Punjab beat Mumbai Indians to make only their second final after a gap of more than a decade. It's going to be RCB versus Punjab in the final. The repeat of qualifier 1 will be played in Ahmedabad, but we're not talking about that final. We'll have enough time to talk about that final. What we're going to do is look back at that qualifier number 2. And it was a game for the ages. The pressure was on Punjab because quite often it's said Mumbai, when they reach this situation, they're going to be a tough team to handle, but Punjab held on their nerves. And we have to start this analysis by talking about the man of the moment, and it has to be Shreyas Iyer for his 87 at a phenomenal strike rate of 212. And if I was to just sum up that knock, I'd say that if there was a perfect T20 inning, and if I had to tell anyone who doesn't know cricket much how a perfect T20 inning is to be played, I think I'll show them the highlights of this particular inning, because it had all the ingredients of the perfect recipe. It had a little bit of caution. It had a lot of aggression. It had assessing the situation. It had looking at the field placements. It had which bowlers to target, which bowlers to respect. It had looking at the match situation. Everything that you can think of, every aspect that you can think of, it had that, and Shreyas Iyer executed it to perfection. That's why I'd say the perfect inning had all the right ingredients. And in all of that, I will take out that one particular shot also that he played. It was direction that he gave to a Yorker bowled by Jasprit Bumrah. He just gave it direction and it went for 4. Now I know Jasprit Bumrah's Yorker is making headlines, the one that he got Washington Sundar with, and it was an outstanding delivery, but it made for a greater spectacle because you had the batter fall down and then he had to do a push-up to get up. So it made a greater spectacle. But if you ask me, skill and execution of skill, then I'd say this 4 that Shreyas Iyer hit off a Jasprit Bumrah Yorker is higher in terms of skill and execution, because remember, it's a Yorker angling in on the stump, and that he guides not with a straight bat, because you have to slant your bat to guiding it. He takes that risk of doing it, knowing exactly where the fielders are, still does it, and then gets a boundary. Absolutely outstanding, one for the ages. I'll go so far as to compare it to that 6 that Virat Kohli hit at MCG straight down the ground in the T20 World Cup versus Pakistan, because if you look at the science behind it, I'd say this one was even tougher to execute. So outstanding shot, outstanding inning by Shreyas Iyer. And the one thing that really stood out was, even after he had played a match-winning knock, even after he had taken his team to the final, he did not have any over-the-top celebrations. He was so zoned in. In fact, it looked like that he was in such a zone that even when the game had finished, he hadn't realized the game had finished, because he was so clued in, zoned in to the job at hand. And it usually takes some time for you to come out of the zone, come out of that concentration. Just tells you the knock that Shreyas Iyer played today. Of course, Nehal Vadera also playing a steady hand, helping the Punjab team as they chased down 205 set by Mumbai Indians. And I think now you will look back at Mumbai Indians campaign, and 2 things I'd like to say about MI. First, there's always this impression that as soon as MI reach the business end, they're going to be unbeatable. Every team they're going to sweep aside. But I think that is a false impression that we tend to have, and I think it's mostly based on the fact that MI have won 5 titles, which is outstanding, the joint most. But remember, all those 5 titles came when they finished in the top 2. MI themselves, every time they've finished out of the top 2 and they've played the playoff in the 3rd and the 4th position, they have been knocked out. They've not made the final. This is the 3rd time it's happened. So I think sometime we need to look at this. Their chances of making the final are as much as any other team, and history suggests that when they finish 3rd, 4th. So I don't know where that impression comes from, and I think Punjab did very well to shatter that myth as well. But if you take a look at MI's entire season, I don't think that they had the squad to make the final or win the title. I think making the playoff is the best that they could have done. So in that sense, they've not underachieved. This is the kind of squad that they had, an aging squad, a squad dealing with some players that are out of form, a squad dealing with some replacement that they had to look at the last moment. All of that put together, I don't think Mumbai really had the team this season to win the title. So if you're a Mumbai fan, don't be disheartened. This, I feel, is the best that they could have achieved, and they did well on that. Of course, the next season will bring together a lot of challenges. Hardik Pandya's captaincy will be scrutinized as it was today, and I think for him to be the top captain that he was during Gujarat, he has to be his own man. I think ever since he's come back to Mumbai Indians, he's been a bit confused. He's taken a line where I think he's trying to please everyone. He's trying to be the people's captain. I think he needs to become the ruthless captain as he was in Gujarat, and probably then he'll be able to take the right decisions. Today, he did get all his cards right, barring a few mistakes he made, like not bowling Mitch Santner, not bowling himself, which I think he should have done because of his experience ahead of an Ashwini Kumar. Those mistakes were there, but at the end of the day, it was a game where Punjab batted very well. How often have you seen Jasprit Bumrah go wicketless, give 40 runs in his 4 overs, 10 and over? Seldom happens. It happened this season, but right, that was at the start of the season when Jasprit Bumrah was a bit rusty. Whenever he's in top form, he's never been played like this, and that's why credit to Punjab, how they planned against him and how they executed their plan against Jasprit Bumrah and Mumbai Indians on the whole. It's going to be a close contest, the final 50-50. Who's going to win? I'm not going to say now. Those analyses will be coming up a little later. But for the moment, do give us a like on the video if you're enjoying our content. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today.